and just really kind of do a raw emotional type of book. Because I think that a lot of times writers get hung up, or at least I know I used to get hung up on trying to get everything on every word of every page, just absolutely perfect, and you lose sight of the big picture. And I think that there's some wonderfully well-written things in women's fiction and in young adult fiction, but they always focus on the big picture. And they do it with a really tight word count. I don't know how much you want to get into the nuts and bolts of these things. And I like writing really tight books. I like books that it doesn't take long to actually get to the heart of the story. And if I have to sit around for 40 pages waiting on something to happen, I'm not going to finish that book. And so that's something that I like when I read. And as a result, I think that's something that I like when I write.
What books, what YA books do you like to read, or what is your preferred genre between chick lit and YA?
I've actually gotten to where I probably enjoy reading YA more than anything else out there, and I think part of that is because it's just so much more tightly written. We don't waste a lot of time, hearing what the heroine had for breakfast that morning. We kind of get into the story and we go. I'm absolutely crazy about the Artemis Fowl books, which is another Hyperion title. Another book I'm really excited about reading is Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz, that came in the mail just a day or two ago, and I can't wait to pick it up. I'm a crazy fan of Meg Cabot. I just adore her. I love E. Lockhart, who wrote The Boyfriend List, which I think was just absolutely brilliant. Probably my favorite book that I've read in the last year was a book called If Andy Warhol Had a Girlfriend by Allison Pace, which is actually an adult book, but incredibly, incredibly well written. Another book I absolutely loved, which is, I guess, technically a YA book, is called Amazing Grace by Megan Schull. And that's one of those books that every time I pick it up, I just get sick because I know I'll never write anything as good as that, because it's very, very, very well done.
In terms of fans, what are the differences between your interactions with teen fans that are reading the Gallagher Girls and your adult fans that are reading your Cheating at Solitaire?
I don't know if it's representative of the quality of the book or the promotional effort behind the books or what. I don't know why this is happening. But I've probably gotten more email and interaction with girls who have read the Gallagher Girls books in the last week than I've gotten in 6 months from women who have read Cheating at Solitaire. And I think probably the big part about that is girls are much more willing and interested in getting on an author's website and reading about her and sending her an email, or going on MySpace or something and sending her a message and saying that you like the book. And whereas women are older readers are probably, they're more bogged down and having other things to do. So it's been very interesting and very fun. I've gotten a lot of really fun emails, and I just absolutely love reading all of them. And I've passed them on to my editor and to my agent, and they love reading them too, because it just makes it seem so worthwhile. Because during the process of writing this book, it was really crazy. We had a very, very short turnaround time. Everything happened, within about 6 months. Had to have the book totally done, ready to go to presses. And so it's just, after having all those long nights and very, very worrisome weekends, it's just great to get an email from somebody saying, I'm just like this character in your book, and can you possibly see if they might cast me in the movie because I'm so much like this person, and all this stuff. And it's so rewarding to see, this is what we did, and this is why it's worth it.
So what do you hope girls take away from your novel into their everyday lives? And is your idea of what they will take away reflected in the correspondence you have with them?
I think so. I think so far I've been very, very pleased. I think the one thing I want people walking away, and this is something that I've talked about with my editor and something that I've talked about, with the people behind the movie and everybody else, is we want girls walking away from this story thinking, I want to be a Gallagher girl. I want to be strong and smart and self-sufficient and, dedicated to my friends and loyal and willing to make sacrifices. And it's not necessarily as much about getting the boy or having the right clothes. It's really about how can I make a difference and how can I be a better person. And I really think they're doing that. I've had a lot of girls email me saying, I wish there was a school like this because I'd like to go there. And that really means a lot, because I think that we are at a time when we need women out there really tackling the tough issues. And I think that the girls who grow up reading these books, hopefully they're going to become the kind of women who do that.
Can you give us any hints as to what's coming up for Cammie and everyone else in the future?
Well, of course, the first one, well, I don't want to spoil the first one by saying anything about the second one, but I will say that things are not going to be as they have always been at the Gallagher Academy. There's some major shakeups on the way for the sequel. And the sequel will be out next year about this time. We have a title for it, which I love, which is actually top secret at the moment. We're going to have a contest on my website for people to guess and decode the secret, actually, probably sometime this fall. So I'm very excited about the sequel. The first draft is due next week, and I can't wait to turn it in and get some feedback from my editor, because I think it's really going to kind of ratchet up the tension at the Gallagher Academy quite a bit.
And do you think we'll be seeing that on shelves before next spring or around that time?
I think it'll be probably next year about this time. If I had to bet, I would say probably April or May of 2007.
Great. Well, we're looking... Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. It'll be out about the same time as the paperback version of I Tell You I Love You, but then I have to kill you.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.